Hello guys, today we have a very interesting topic. It is much requested for a demo video and setup video, security plugin in Larnitech installation. So we've been talking a lot about how we can use security in Larnitech installations, but let's talk a little bit more in detail about this one. So we will get the idea how this works, and then we will see how this works, and then we will look at the setup process for it. So let's go. First, the security means that there could be two types of security. First type is passive security. Passive are the sensors which should be active 24/7. So all the time they should be armed. This could be smoke security, this could be fire or water leakage or gas leakage, CO2, CO, and many other sensors which you can connect to different home automation systems and to Larnitech as well. And then we have security, which sometimes should be active and sometimes not active. So these are doors and windows. We need to understand whether they are open or closed, and also motion and presence in different rooms. Okay, so the next thing which we need is we need to monitor all this from the application, and we need to get notifications if anything happens. So we need to have this functionality inside the application, and then we also need to integrate to it door intercom, key cards or key fobs, and cameras. So this should also be all inside. And also, if we integrate all this into the smart home, it would be nice if system was easy to use and client just could hear it talking. So it could speak to you with words, and client would understand in which state it is right now, in which mode we turn it on, and so on. So we need media point also integrated into it. And then how this works, we get the main controller, DMG or Metaforsa, and then we get the bus, our CAN bus, connected to different devices. What kind of devices do we use? We use inputs to connect different kinds of sensors. For example, we could use this type of input module which has 6 inputs, or we can use DIN rail input module which has 15 inputs, or we can use our own CAN bus devices like motion sensors and others. Okay, so this could work only not only this way, this could work differently. So for example, motion sensors, you can use third-party motion sensors and connect them to any of those input modules, or you can change them and vice versa. So almost any kind of sensors for security you can connect to our system. And then sometimes you will also need to connect a computer network. So this all, not sometimes of course, all the time you will need connected computer network. So you can connect door intercom and cameras, you can connect media points, you can also connect third-party systems like Ajax or Satel. Satel has more integration, Ajax has less but has more wireless functions, for example. So we connect them to IP router as well, and they can work together with our system. So right now this is almost it, except of one small thing. Right now in this option, all this is working locally. For example, intruder can come and steal all our home automation equipment, and we will not get notification about this because the equipment which gives you notification will be turned off. That is why we also need external monitoring for this house. So once it is in security mode, the Larnitech cloud and monitoring service should be also connected, and this service is included in the plugin for free. So this is it. This is the whole system, and how it could be connected. This is one of the options. So next, let's see how this works. And I have here iPad, I have here a smartphone. So what we can do is we can bring this to the screen, and I want you to see both devices so you understand how this works better. So what we have now is we have here the iPhone with a dark user interface, and it is open on a page with the sensors. So you can see sensors door, which is closed, and motion, and there is no motion. And here this one is light user interface, and we have here door, which is closed and no motion, so same. We open our demo case and we try. So this one will be door. So now door is open, closed again. And this one is motion. Motion, not motion. So this one is to imitate. And down here is motion which reacts on my hand with an analog signal. So now no motion and door is closed. Now let's go and see user interface for the security system. So we get this menu, and with this security, it asks for a PIN. We enter our PIN 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we are in security system interface. If this is a white user interface, you go to this security place and you enter the PIN. Okay? So what we can have the second part, which gives you different zones and rooms and what you have in there. So for example, I can press here and see using camera what happens in there. I added a demo camera. And then we go and see the log. So on iPad we can do the same, or on a wall panel, for example. Okay? So what we now can do is we can arm the system. So now the system, once we press here, arm, it gives you arm all. Yes. Now it's arming, and you should hear the sound.
Security system is armed. You need to leave the area within 20 seconds.
Okay, so on all devices you have this notification that the security system is armed, and you have now some time, like maybe 20 seconds to leave this area. So what we can do now is we can go and see sensors again. So sensors are now fine, and door is closed and no motion. So what I can do is I can, for example, open door and close it. So like someone entered. Open door and closed. So it says alarmed disarming.
Access detected. Please disarm the system, otherwise security company will be notified.
We hear that please disarm the system, otherwise security company will be notified, and we have some time to disarm the system before something else happens, like additional relays will be closed and bigger home security system will notify the security company. Okay, so this is it. So now what we can do is we can go and see that this one is red, yes, in this zone. So we understand what kind of sensor is triggered, and we can go and see alarmed disarming, and we can press here and see what happened during this time. So we have here last, I think from 22 until I think 30 seconds or something like this. Okay, and now we can also reset sensors because we are now logged in here. So that's why we can reset these sensors, because the system saw our password. Or we can go and disarm.
Security system is disarmed.
Security system is disarmed. through media point. So this is all working kind of like this. So what also can happen is that, for example, this door can be open and we try to arm our system. And we can also have some sound on this one, but I did not set it up yet. So it says not armed. In these zones, ground floor, are alarmed sensors found. Yes, so it's not armed now. Now I turn it, I close the door and I arm again. Now it's arming and now everything will be fine.
Security system is armed. You need to leave the area within 20 seconds.
Arm remotely confirmed means that cloud also took this as armed place, so it will send you notification even if it is not online. So if someone turned it off, you will get all notifications about alarms. Okay?
Security system is disarmed.
Okay. So let's now go and see how you set this all up. Okay? Security plugin itself is installed through updates in here. So security, this one, I have it installed already. So once it is installed, you go to plugins and you can see this security plugin. Yeah. So here you can press configure and this is the configuration of the security plugin. So what can we do here? First we see zones and then we see card readers, users, alarm actions, devices for push notifications, SATEL, Ajax and service journal. So in zones, we can add new zone or we can see what kind of zones are added and what kind of sensors are added. Okay? So what I can do is I can add a new zone, for example, first floor. I'd save it now. So now first floor is added, but no devices in there. So I press add device and it gives me this kind of menu. What can I do here? This zone, first floor, I can add different device types. I can add alarm device, arm device, or camera. Alarm means 24/7 alarmed devices, and it offers us the devices like temperature sensors, water leak sensors, CO2 sensors, and so on. So CO2 sensor, for example. And the name will be CO2. Recovery timeout. So for example, it triggered and then nothing happened for, let's say, 10 seconds. Then it will stop the alarm. So we can have the recovery timeout of 5 seconds, for example. And level for alarm could be something like 1,500. So once it is 1,500, then the alarm will go. So this is it. This is 24/7 monitoring of this sensor. But I can also add a device type which is armed, which you need to arm. And this could be motion sensor, or I do not see right now door sensors because the door sensor has been added to a different location. So I can use this one as motion sensor. Motion, recovery timeout, let's say 5, level for alarm. I don't set it up, like once it's on, it will be on. And modes, night and away, it should go armed. Arm timeout and disarm timeout means that once we arm it, we will have, for example, 10 seconds to go away. And disarm timeout, once we trigger it, we will have, for example, 20 seconds to disarm it. or maybe 10 seconds, so in the purpose of this. And then we can also link camera. So link camera means that, as you have seen in the video before, once we have this alarm, we can see the small part of video recorded of what happened. Okay? So then we can go. Now you understand how to set up zones, and you can have as many zones as you want, as you wish. And you can go then to card readers, and card readers are inside our door entry video intercom, so you can see the separate video about this one. And then users, like who can arm, disarm, ignore, or alarm. Let's add another one, like service user, service person, and the pin will be like this. Forced pin, I'm not sure what this is, I never used it. I need to ask technical support, but I don't think I need it. Arm, disarm, ignore, or alarm, this is what I can do. So I save. Okay, so now we have this service. And we have also another part which is called alarm actions. So once you have the alarm, you can use media point for this alarm, so you can insert here the alarm file. How do you get the link to this alarm file? You get to modules, and in module list you go to media point, you go to its own user interface, and media point can store these media files. So you can go to DLNA, and for example I see here security armed. So this is what we can do. So we can review.
Security system is armed. You need to leave the area.
We can get as many of these files as we wish. And what we can also do, right click and use show URL. So this will be the URL which we will use in the security system. So we can put it here. And this media point, so we add it, with this volume will play this file once we save it. And also what you can do is you can get scripts, and scripts are actually the best part of it, because you can add different actions inside these scripts for alarm, armed, alarm, arming, armed, disarming, disarmed, ignored, clear alarm, not alarmed. Okay, so these are audio files, for example, which you can get. So you go to scripts. I have here, you see scripts, armed, disarm, alarm. I can add a new one. So I press add block list script. I go to device control. I select media point. Okay, so once it's armed, for example, armed 2, we can have this URL, this volume, and let's make a volume. I think 255 is maximum, so let's make 200. And then we can select in here what file do we want to be played. It will show us all DLNA media servers. So something like this. And we also can go and device control and have here like blinds closed and light is off, and infrared sender gives us like television off and things like that. Okay. Also ACs, you can go and say the climate control will give me, will become off, for example. Yes. And so on. So once we save it, we will have this updated page with ARM2 script, and in our plugin security configure we can go and use alarm actions with this. So armed and this script. So once it is armed, we will get this script. So we also have this script for armed, so I will just delete it. Okay. What else do we have? We have devices for push notifications. We can manage here different kinds of devices which receive push notifications or not. And also integration with SATEL and Ajax. Okay. So this is it. And let's see what changed in our system because of these changes. Okay, so like this. So what we can do, we can now go to security, enter another pin like 2222, the one which I selected, and we can go and see that we have now another floor. We have here not only ground floor but first floor with CO2 and with motion, and we do have the same for security on a smartphone. So now we can go and press partial arm only first floor, or we can go and select night mode or away mode. So only first floor should be armed, because on second floor, for example, or on the ground floor, we are sleeping. So first floor is now arming. Arm remotely confirmed. Okay. And now we can see in this list that the first floor is green. Unfortunately, you do not see green in this user interface because I have the green as transparent color. So this one is right now green. So let's have the motion. Alarm disarming.
Please disarm the system, otherwise security company will be notified.
Okay, and that sound which we added in our script, and this is all happening locally or remotely. For example, this one is working remotely, and you can see the smartphone, and you can see a little cloud in here. Because it is in a different network right now, so it works through the cloud. So what we can do is we go to the security, we enter the PIN, we have two options for PIN now, 111 or 2222, and we can now disarm. Okay.
Security systems disarmed.
Okay. So this is it. Actually, these are all security functions which I wanted to show you. Once you have more questions, you can go ask me about it, and please sign up for our Instagram and write me an email if you want, or go to our website to online training for more information. Thank you very much for watching this. Bye bye.